So yeah, the second question is managing the Wales English classroom. So this is a bit geared towards teachers that might not know what it's like to teach for Wales English. So I would like to talk about what to expect of this job. From your perspective, what opportunities does Wales English or the Wales English curriculum give you guys? What's maybe special about it? And we'd also like to talk about the long-term relationships that you're building with the kids, and especially what is special about having this, we've talked about this before, 2D relationship with the kids, and you've never actually seen them in 3D, or you've only ever seen half of their face. So what is it like? You know them for months, and they keep renewing the classes, so what does that feel like? Is that maybe different than if you say you're full-time teachers having relationships to the kids that you teach in the real world class? Okay, I can start.
Well, that was a lot of questions, but the one I'd like to focus on is the one about what is special about it, and it made me think about ideas and words from a totally different perspective. It was fascinating to think about concepts, ideas like imagination or wishing. Those are ideas I haven't visited since I was a kid. So it's really special to engage on that level with the kids.
For me, this is, as I told you, I'm not a tech person, but so this is absolutely technology for me at its best, because I know what I know for technology, but the fact that I can be half a world away and be in someone's living room, and the other, there are two children that they don't know each other, they may not even be in the same area, and yet we can all talk. And like I did say to Jean, I said, wow, you're real, but, you know, and so it would be really cool to meet the students, but I feel like it's the next best, the second best thing. I mean, I'm just amazed. I actually got a contract done in June, and I didn't do it until September because I was terrified of the technology. I decided I can't do that. I can't. And I would cry to my kids. I can't do this. And they're all in computers. And so they're like, oh, come on, you know, you can do this. I said, I can't. You know, so it took me a long time to get the nerve up to do it. But once I started doing it, oh my gosh, it's absolutely astounding that we can do this. And all the things to me that the co-founder said, that's just all true. I mean, how incredible that we can make a mark on these children's lives that will never possibly come in contact with an American teacher or a foreign teacher. So I think it's so cool.
Sure. I found that once I started to work for Wales English last year, I feel like it sort of reinvigorated my teaching within the actual classroom as well. As Kathleen said, it made you think about words, and you know, I'm thinking about how I'm approaching my students in the English-speaking classroom as well as in my Chinese-speaking classroom. One of my biggest takeaways from this whole experience has been that kids are kids. It doesn't matter where they live. You know, it doesn't matter. They are the exact same little beasts that you teach in the classroom. They're the same little beasts on that computer screen. So what works in real life also works when you're working with them on the computer.
So really, the single most rewarding part for me of teaching with Wales, I've been doing this for, I think, 5 years online, is some of the students who I've developed relationships with. I've got one advanced class with 4 students in it. One of them left, and we got a new one. But 4 students, and they're amazing kids. They're extremely bright. You know, I've told them about my life a little bit and about Boston. You know, I'll joke. I'll be like, guys, it's an important night tonight. What night is it? And they'll be like, I don't know. And I say, it's opening day for the Red Sox, you know, and I'll hold up the bobblehead of Chris Sale, you know, the best pitcher on the Red Sox, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, whatever, you know, but you know, I'll ask them about, you know, the sports they like. But really, I mean, just developing the relationships. You know, I've said to them, guys, if you ever get to Boston, like, find me, you and your parents, I'll take you around. Like, well, you know, just because I know these kids who I've met online through Wales better than I know a lot of the students who I teach every single day in Watertown, because I've gotten to know them over 4 years, 5 years, and I've seen them, we joke, it's like, Charles, what book are we doing next? What did your mom say? And we're like, oh, we're doing Great Expectations. Okay, I better bone up on that. I better start reading that and get ready to do it. So, I've gotten to decide with them what book we're doing next and designed some original curriculum and done a bunch of curriculum that Wales has provided. But it's just been awesome getting to know the same group over really 4 years straight. So that's been the best part.
I can also relate to what you said. I feel that something special about working for Wales is that I can actually develop a very strong relationship with my students. I used to teach in the Dominican Republic, and my classes were like 30 to 40 students in one classroom, so it was very difficult to get to know each single one of them on a personal basis. But with Wales, since I only have like 2 students or 3 per class, it's very easy to get to know them, to know their interests, and even apply what I know about them to the lesson in order for them to be more motivated about them and more interested.
Yeah, I was going to agree with you on that, because once you know what interests them, you know how to draw them in. And so that makes the classroom more and more engaging. So having those long-term relationships. Also, I have to admit, I'm pretty excited when kids I really like rebook with me. I'm like, yes, I get them for another 25 weeks. They're so cute. So I really love that aspect. And that was very attractive to me when I was looking to submit my resume to Wales English. So I was really excited.
Yeah, thank you guys for that. Maybe we can talk about what kind of class you actually teach, because what's also special about us is that we do have different types of classes. I mean, we don't only teach ESL, we teach other contents as well. I personally would say this is something special about Wales English, but how do you perceive that as a teacher?
So I teach high school English, so I think those are the classes I tend to get with Wales. So it's generally literature classes, the classics, Lord of the Flies, Great Expectations, Jane Eyre, advanced literature. And so it also means I get some of the best students for those classes. But yeah, I've taught persuasive writing, test taking, academic writing. But it's basically writing and reading advanced literature. That's the part that I've done.
I teach G1 and G2 mostly, so it's a lot of storytelling. I really enjoy the Oxford Reading Tree stories. They're very engaging, the pictures are great, and it helps the children with reading comprehension as they can see the story happening in the pictures, so they're very engaging. I love them.
Sure. I teach a little bit of everything. I have G1, G2, and G3 students for the CEC classes and CRC classes, and then I'm also teaching some writing classes. So this has been great for me because it's what I teach in my 7th grade classroom as well. But I love that I'm teaching not just short stories and informational pieces, but with some of the CRCs I'm getting to do novels. So I feel like I've had a really great experience because I'm having an opportunity to teach really little kids as well as up to 16-year-olds, really big kids. So
I also do a lot of CEC, CRCs. I've been having a lot of young children and little children, which are my favorite. Because, well, it presents a unique challenge, of course, but it's definitely some of the most enjoyable, finding unique ways to be able to get them to talk even if they don't know a lot of vocabulary, just by communicating through gestures, facial expressions, universal things like music was mentioned before, and that's really enjoyable.